All right, come with me. We're going to build a raised garden bed. And this is going to be, it's going to be roughly about 11 inches. These boards are not quite 6 inches. They're like 5 inches and 5 inches and 5/8, 5 and 5/8 inches. So it's not quite 6 inches. So it won't be a full 12 inches, but it'll be roughly 11 inches or so, and it'll be a short bed. And over here, built some tall beds for the plants that grow tall that needs deeper roots. At least I thought, because these squash, these are squash, man, they doing great in this short bed. I mean, it's blooming better in this short bed than it is in this tall bed. And I built the tall bed to give it more room for the roots. And we're gonna put, this bed's gonna be full of okra. These are peppers, tomatoes, um, these are cucumbers. We're gonna change the tomato cages out, and we're gonna actually build build our own little netting to go across to tie the plants to the netting as it grow. These are my watermelons. I'm gonna let these come out and hit the ground and run on the ground. They don't need to stay in the garden. They just need the roots in the garden. They can run along the ground. I got watermelon here, and I got watermelon here. I forget what these are, but the bugs are tearing them up. So I have a bunch of spinach coming up now in its place because the bugs taking it at too much, man. They loving it. And I don't want to put chemicals in my bed. I want to keep it as free as possible and just let nature do its place. That's one thing about it too. You see how the bugs are eating this up? Understand, when you plant in a garden, you sharing with nature. I mean, I'm not a mass producer, so I don't need to chemically treat my garden to keep every piece of pesticide out. But back to the bed we're building. So we're gonna build a 2-foot by 4-foot, quote unquote 12-inch raised bed. And so you need, and this is a low cost bed. You can build yours as expensive as you want, but I'm showing you the low cost one. What these are 8-foot dog ear fence boards. Just 8-foot dog ear boards. That's that you use for privacy fence. Reason I chose these boards are roughly $5 a piece. And these boards, as you can see, have the same color as the decking. So these boards I already had, so I didn't have to buy these, but these are roughly about $4 each. You would only need 2 because you're gonna have to cut them down. Since this is a 12-inch bed, I'm gonna cut these down to 16 inches, and then I'm gonna put a tip on them so that when I nail them or drive them into the ground, they don't walk. You need to put a tip on all 4 edges. The first bed I put in, I only had the tip on 2 edges. I thought that would be fine, but it still walked. So you need to put an edge on all 4 corners so that it goes straight down, that it doesn't try to walk to the left or right, forward or back on you, and it goes right down where you're trying to drive it down at. Because when it walks and it spreads, if each board is trying to spread its own direction, it put stress on your frame, and you don't want that extra stress on your frame because you're gonna fill it with soil, or at least in my case, compost. So after I build the next bed, this compost should be pretty good to go ahead on and put it in the cow. I know y'all done forgot about the cow, but remember I told you that's what the cow was for. The cow was to give me a way to create compost. I could compost the leaves quicker with the cow than I can leaving them laying on the ground, because it takes about a year for the leaves to compost on their own, just leaving them on the ground. So I needed to speed that process up. So I'm not gonna show you the cutting and sewing, but I will come back when I start to screw it together. So what we're gonna do now, we need 4 boards, 4 feet long, and we need 4 boards, 2 foot long. So we're gonna cut 2 of the boards in half. That give us 2. That give us the 4 4-foot long boards, and then we'll cut 1 of the boards in 4 pieces. That give us our 4 2-foot boards for the edge, the side edges. All right, and I'll be back to screw it together and nail it down.